Hey,
Hey, Jake, can you hear me?
I can. How do I sound? Okay.
Yep.
If I pause the record button, can we restart it?
Probably.
Yeah, we'll just have a recording. Is there a chance that we get everybody else with their cameras on as well?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
I don't know.
Well, we'll let them know that if they want to have their cameras on, they are welcome to have their cameras on.
I hope you're going to play our theme song.
I was trying to figure out how to play it.
Oh, well, I have my phone right here. It might pick up on the audio,
Yeah,
but it won't be.
you know me. I need to over-engineer everything, and I'll next time through, I'll add it to our slides.
Okay.
So it just plays automatically.
Yes, we can do that. I just don't own it, so I don't know that I can.
And I'm going to share.
I keep trying to use the mouse for Gary's computer, and it's not connected to mine.
You know what? It doesn't show. You know what? Can you? I might have to either restart Chrome, or can you share your screen? Sorry.
Yep, sure can.
I opened it in the Canva app, and I realized I don't have that set to share here. So
she's only getting view only. Yes.
So she can't get the camera.
She can't get the camera because I did view only. Okay, perfect. I will fix it.
Yeah.
Can I go in and fix that, Jake?
Probably not at the moment. We'll imagine everybody on camera smiling and happy.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Share my screen.
And I tried to pin you to the screen as well, but
Oh. It
here,
wants to quit and reopen Google Chrome right now.
Here, let me. I think hold on. I'm starting to realize I have too many Canva accounts. Hold on 1 second. There.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're good to go. We're after 10 a.m.
Oh my gosh, thank you for keeping me on time. It's good to see you, Jennifer. Thanks for being part of this. I'm excited to co-present and to sort of take on this new piece that we have. As many of you have heard, Christian, I think, said this best when, the idea of doing a business plan, and in the next series, or the next episode of this series, we're going to do a more traditional business plan piece where we really get into the numbers. But, I love how Christian said this. This action series for us is really going to become what I would like to say, and I think Christian said, is we're going to live the business plan. This is really our opportunity to put into action the things that we would do as business owners, right? If you have the chance to attend Master Your Craft, you sort of got the big picture of what being a business owner looks like. And the idea here is we can really break this down into small, tangible little chunks, even though those individual chunks might take a little bit longer to do and accomplish. But we want to sort of set the tone and give us an overview of what we should do for each individual piece. And then the best part, and this is the piece I'm most excited about, we're going to go into the office meetings and in your office with your group of people that know you, like you, and trust you. You're going to have working sessions where those questions that you have that maybe you don't want to ask here, or you want to sort of get peer review and opinions, you're going to sort of solve those problems in the office. So hopefully we can continue to move the needle forward with all of these little pieces. So that's sort of the big piece in the overall thing. Jennifer, anything you want to add? Oh, we lost your camera for a second. Did I put you on the spot? No, that's all right.
Sorry.
I know when you're presenting from a laptop, you're like, I don't know how to.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard. Sorry.
That's right.
I agree completely with you. I think this is going to be really great. I love the idea that we're going to present today, and then the brokers get to kind of follow up on Tuesday with some more actionable items.
Yep.
It'll be really, really great.
All right. I'll have you, I'll just give you the cue and jump to the next slide, and we'll just get started.
Okay.
I don't have any of those amazing notes that you put in, so hopefully I stay on target. So here's a big picture frame for all of us. And I want to get this on the recording. If you're listening to this as a recording, and you're going to hear us talk about this often. And there's a tie back to AI, right? Actual artificial intelligence versus the AI I love, agent intelligence, which you guys are ripe and you've got such great intelligence individually in the agents. From an AI standpoint, AI is kind of limited into what it actually can do, which sounds crazy because you're like, I just made a song for Jennifer and I for our theme song, right? AI can put that together. But the problem is AI can't really read reviews and understand them in a tangible way. So the biggest takeaway that I had from the brand meeting and all the other AI work that I've been researching is your social is important. Your Facebook, your Instagram, those things are massively important because that's how you connect with the people that know you and like you and hopefully trust you. Now, there's this whole other side, which I'll just call the internet, which I think a lot of us have neglected, but it's going to become incredibly important as we move forward with AI tools. All that to say that your website, the profiles you have on every single website, what it says, what it looks like, all of those are usable from AI to be able to talk about you, promote you, and recommend you. Jennifer, I'm going to pause there. Hopefully, and if you have questions, by the way, throw them into the chat. We'll just take them as we go. Hopefully we can still type into the chat. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, so we'll figure out that. But, Jennifer, any thoughts on that piece from an AI standpoint? You were in those meetings as well. And as a non-agent, and here's what I love, as a non-agent, you're hearing that from an education standpoint, which to me is vital in terms of implementation for us.
Exactly. Well, and the big thing is harnessing AI to help you. So we'll talk in a little bit about how to use AI to write your bio or to even scour the internet to look up all the places you might be on the internet. So whether you can Google yourself to see where you show up, to make sure that you are aligned across all of your platforms. Yep. You can also use AI to do that as well. And I noticed that AI picks different things up than Google does. So
Yep. And I think all the different forms of which AI tool, and I don't want to go too into that today, but they all have sort of a different style and a function in programming. So the piece here that we really want to emphasize. So we're going to talk about all of these places you appear, but I want to make sure that our brain isn't just thinking my Facebook and my Instagram. It's every website that you potentially appear on, and we'll talk about which ones are more important, which ones are less important. But really the idea is I'll call it congruent. How are we consistently showing up? Is the message the same? Is the text the same? Are the visuals the same? There's a harmony there. And I know that it's easy to think, well, nobody cares. Well, they do care. Here's how I interpret that as a marketing professional. I want that consistent look so that no one says, why is this different than this? Right? It's sort of what I call the sweater theory. If you give me a little thread to pull, I'm going to keep pulling that thread till it unravels. If one page on a website says this versus this on a different page, your clients are going to question, why is that different? And here hopefully I can lay a little guilt on all of us. Why did they miss that? And if they missed that, what else did we miss?
Bingo.
That's the takeaway. And I know that I hope I have permission for everyone to sort of say the tough things, because I think we need to hear those things a little bit. It sends an unspoken message. If we're missing these details about ourselves, what else might we be missing about the deal and the transaction? So I'm going to take that note. Go ahead.
Really quick. I'm going to interrupt you this time.
That's right. I love it. I love it.
A lot of times clients are going to Google you before they go to your website. It's easier for them to Google you. And if they go to the BHG website and your bio says Prudential, that's one of those things they're going to be confused about and could be a deciding factor whether they want to use you or not.
Absolutely. And I think the thing we forget is, even if I refer Jennifer's the best agent I've ever worked with. She's fantastic. You absolutely should use her. The person I refer is still going to be like, Jennifer, right? They're still going to do their research, even if it comes from a great referral. So those things happen all the time. We do it all the time. That's really the piece here. And, you know, your brand website, and we'll talk about the tactical pieces, because I'm sure there's a couple of people who are like, I don't know how to change that. We'll make sure we have the mechanisms to get those things fixed as we need. But really, I want to make sure that most important, your brand website is aligned with everything else. That's really where the tone gets set. So, want to go to the next slide there, Jennifer?
Absolutely.
So I do the same.
Maybe.
Profile essentials.
Is it?
Oh, I haven't switched over here. That's
Is it
right.
going? Okay.
Yep, there we go. Headshots, your bio, workplace branding, consistency. Those are really I'll call it the holy trinity of what we want to have, and we build that around. And I know headshots are a tough subject among real estate agents. They're a tough thing among all of us. I hate most of my photos. Honestly, I say this all the time. I'm better in 3D, and I'm not even sure I'm that great in 3D most of the time. So I don't like most of my photos. I get it. Your clients want to see what you look like. And I think what's nice about the world we live in now is it's easier to be more authentic. I don't have to be completely polished and, have, everything like completely airbrushed. It's okay to be a little more real. I'm also not opposed to using AI headshots. I don't love them for real estate agents, but I understand. My goal here is that we just get some updated headshots. Wink, wink, nod, nod for many of us. And I get it. I need to work on mine. And maybe, Jennifer, that's something we can look into doing, is getting an opportunity where people can just come through and get new headshots taken. Because it's something easier to sort of accomplish with some groups. It's like school photos, right? Like we could just do school photos again.
Yes.
We'll talk about your bio and we'll talk about sort of this consistency and branding as we go through.
Absolutely.
Jennifer, thoughts before we move into headshots?
No. I think that's good. We're going to talk about what makes a good headshot and what makes a bad headshot.
Oh, you want to? How about you take this one? I love these examples that you put together. I'm like, this is spot on, right?
So I looked up different companies. I looked up our company and looked up what would be considered a bad example versus what would be a good example. So your headshots, you want them to be current. I've noticed that some people that have been in the business for a very long time have headshots that are, maybe
not so current.
Not so current. You want to make sure they have high resolution. If you look at some of the bad examples, they do not have, those are what they look like on their websites. They are selfies, or they are not high resolution. In one of those bad examples, I don't know which one is the agent. And the background is a little busy, and the guy in the bottom corner, he's frowning. That's no fun. But our good examples, I did use 2 of our current agents for good examples.
Fantastic photos.
Not only are they brand consistent, also they have good lighting, they're modern, they look approachable. And that's what's most important. Do they look like somebody? Are they paying attention to detail, which is what you were talking about
Yeah.
earlier, is making sure that you are paying attention to detail. And I noticed when I was looking through a lot of our own agents' headshots, a lot are wearing green, and that is brand
All about it.
consistent as well.
I feel like this is the one rare instance where I'm not wearing green. So let's talk about the bio piece a little bit. And I
Okay.
know this is, it's tough. I'll say this very humbly. I'm a writer and I struggle with this as well because we're writing about ourselves, right? It's a common theme. Here's the thing. I'll give a couple of different suggestions, but we'll talk a little bit about using AI, and Jennifer's got some ideas on what we can do to sort of do that. But right, an open piece, give a sense of your background, right? Your connection to Kansas City. We want to localize that. How we talk about the brand, the personal touch, maybe, you know, something fun, interesting about you, and a call to action. And here's what I would say about all of those things. We don't have to attract 5,000 people. This idea is for the 50 or maybe 500 or maybe 5 people that really resonate with who we are as professionals, to be like, that is my person. Jake is weird and he's quirky and he's into all these things. I'm into those things. He's my agent, right? That's the idea here. We actually want to make it a little specific and talk about what you're passionate about, your backgrounds, your hobbies, because those are the things that create that connection. Outside of it, it's like, I'm an agent in Kansas City. Great. I don't have anything to connect to that because there's not really much there outside of a referral, which is fantastic. So, you know, these profiles are going to appear everywhere. Mm-hmm. I'm also okay with having slightly modified versions for different websites because the language of LinkedIn is going to be a little bit different than your brand website or, you know, realtor.com or any of those websites. I'm okay with variations on that. The big thing is someone should read it and be like, I know who this is, right? And sometimes having someone else that knows you write that profile for you is a fantastic way to get started in AI. Jennifer, thoughts on before we move? I want to make sure we stay on time, and we're doing good.
We're doing good. We're doing good. No, and some people don't like to put their interests and hobbies in their professional bio, and that's okay too. So, you know, and I put in very little information into AI and asked it to make a bio for me, and it was pretty right on. You know, AI, you were talking before about harnessing AI. The more you use it, the more it learns who you are as well.
Yeah, which I don't personally love, but I mean, I do love the idea. I just don't personally love that.
I know, but it's so easy.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it is sharing sort of just this experience for myself. One of the things that I sometimes struggle with is I get started and then I get sort of stuck in the middle. And what's been great for me to use AI is like, just give me something. So I've got a tangible, I always say, like, I'm pretty good at refining things. Like, give me a lump of something and I can make something out of that if I get started. And I think for most people, that's where they struggle is actually getting started on some of these things and doing that. So, you know, AI prompts, I love the idea of being very personal. You know, there's a trust algorithm, which I just reminded me that I should add to sort of our collection of materials for this, that talks about a little bit of what it calls intimacy. Like, I want to know about my agent because we're going to work together and spend time together. And I think that personal aspect is okay in that scheme. Thoughts, Jennifer, but on Can and personal?
It takes us right into our next thing on our BHG agent profiles and on the MYC websites. They have some nice canned profiles.
Yep.
But if someone's searching for an agent and they're looking for those profiles and they notice that they all say the same thing, you're not telling them much about how you can work for them.
Yeah.
So, and that's the agent's, you know, that's your personal choice as an agent, what you would, you know, which you want to use.
Yep. But, and you know, here's where I will call back to sort of that piece I said in the very beginning. The more points of differentiation you have about you, what you do, who you serve, your, you know, I always say, like, I serve all of Kansas City, but I specialize here. And I want us to think about those two things. Like, oh, I'll drive anywhere, anytime, everywhere, right? And that's how most agents approach the business. And I want you to do that. But what I want you to say is like, this is where I plant my flag. Like, this thing is really what I specialize in. And when we do that on our website, and our profiles appear that way, and our blog posts that we'll talk about down the road, that's when we can actually leverage AI in some of those fantastic tools that you've heard about and you're going to see more of, that actually can go in and help sort of create content for you around that. So that personal aspect of serve all of Kansas City, absolutely serve all of Kansas City. Find a thing you specialize in. Right? It could be a very interesting subsection neighborhood and you only work in condos in this particular neighborhood. Great. If that's something you're passionate around, that will allow AI to help leverage that with blog posts and articles and things like that moving forward. So more personal, the better.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought. I didn't see any questions. And again, I'll make the comment. If you guys have questions, that's sort of what we're here for. I know you get your office meeting to ask all the questions as well, but if you have questions, let us know. And we'll make sure next time around you guys can be on camera because I want to see all your shiny, smiley faces. Jennifer, tell us about you.
Okay, so I did use AI to write this. And what I put in AI was, as a copywriter, write a bio for Better Homes and Gardens Kansas City homes and highlight my time as an educator and how it translates those skills to my new position as chief of staff. So it did write kind of a longer bio. And what I would suggest is if you do have a longer bio, chunk it into segments. So, you've got a beginning, middle, and then the end should be that call to action. A short, something about why they should choose you to work with them.
Yep.
So this is just a quick example. You want to make sure that it's not one huge, long run-on paragraph. I did notice, Jake, that on some people's bios, that I think they used to be bullet points, and now they are one big run-on paragraph that doesn't make a lot of sense. So it's really important that you go in and actually check out your information, your bios,
which is a great thing, and I know we'll talk about that too. And I go back and forth, and creating a resume is different than creating a bio, but they overlap in a lot of ways. And I think one of the visual things I like is to do a little bit of both, right? Like here's the copy, and then maybe I've got 4 bullet points that really are the the actual flavor, I guess, of the profile. If you're just reading those bullet points, you get the sense of all those things as you go through.
And bullet points are great. I think just as we have changed systems, it has taken those bullet points and has put them into one big long paragraph instead. So if you go to your agent profile on Kansas City Homes website and it is not updated and you want to update it, all you have to do is email the help desk. And then we go in and we can edit whatever you want. You just send us the copy you want in there. We will cut and paste it and put in. It takes about 24 hours to update. I played around on one agent's to see how long it would take to update. So it takes about 24 hours for it to actually update.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up too, Jennifer, because I know that one of the nice things about the system we use is that it is convenient for certain things, and the profile editing and updating is a little tougher to manage. I'm going to throw this out here, and hopefully it doesn't bite me for this. I am happy to I'm going to be very clear about my own words. I am happy to help refine profiles that you send to me, and by that I mean, hey, Jake, here's a thing. What do you think? I feel like that's in my wheelhouse, both for a skill that I have and time that I have to allocate to that. But if you come to me and you're like, Jake, write my profile, that is probably not my best skill set. It's hard for me. So I'll throw this out there. If you have profiles that you are like, hey, here's what I think, tell me, give me some feedback. Between myself and Jennifer and all of us, your manager, the people around you, hopefully we all sort of collaborate to make that happen. But if you want to reach out to me and say, hey, what do you think about this? I'll do my best to get it turned around as timely as possible. You guys know that I sometimes have some time management issues, and I'm always working on them. Thankfully, I've got Jennifer to keep me on track. But I can't help you just start from scratch. That's a tough thing for me because I need you to sort of fill in the chunks of a little bit, like we're making stone soup, so to speak.
Yep.
So we talked about this. LinkedIn, don't sleep on LinkedIn. I have been a fan of LinkedIn for a long time, and there's some incredible statistics about LinkedIn that make it very incredibly useful for real estate agents. And what I love about LinkedIn is you get to have a very different voice on LinkedIn. You get to really talk to agents. And of course, the thing is, why would I want to be friends with a bunch of other agents? I'm like, well, I don't know, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt you to do that. And your content that you post on LinkedIn can be very professional, because clients that search you and find you on LinkedIn are going to see that you have specific language of how you are a business owner for real estate. The same goes with Zillow, right? Your language there is targeted towards the buyers and sellers, right? It's sometimes less about you and more about the thing you do to help them, right? Here's something that I am an expert in. Here's, an area or a neighborhood or a type of transaction that I excel at. And your brand piece is sort of I'll call it the most homogenous of all of those things. And again, your email signatures, all of those things, we want to have as much consistency as possible, because at the end of the day, that says you pay attention to the details. And what matters to clients? Paying attention to the details.
Correct.
Jennifer, thoughts on that one?
Yes, really quick. Christian wanted me to make sure that I included a little piece about Zillow and Realtor.com.
Yep.
That if you do not have profiles on those and you want to set up profiles on those, please ask for some help. Especially on Zillow, there's a little box that you have to check that says I'm a landlord or I am a professional in the business. If you do not check that, you are creating a client profile instead of an agent profile, and it takes months to fix that.
There's a lot of things that we spend a lot of time unwinding some of those things, but
Yes.
Yeah, and that is true. And I think, even loosely throwing this out here, because I know I have gotten a lot of questions about Google and what
yes.
it takes to do those things, and that's almost its own separate problem-solving piece that I'll put some things together, because when we claim an address and all the conflicts. But the short answer is I want you to appear everywhere you can.
Mhm.
And clearly these are, to me, the most important. These would be, again, the holy trinity of, I absolutely need you to be here because your clients are going to be there and look for you on those spots. That's step number one. If you're active and posting, great. That's where we'll talk about down the road of what to say and when to say it and sort of how to talk about those things. But let's definitely make sure that we are there and present. Jennifer, thoughts before we sort of
if anybody
marching orders?
If you run across any issues in your updating of those platforms or have questions, please reach out to me. I do have some extra information. And at the end of this, we are going to share in the meeting invite some resources for you as well. So
yeah, and that's, I'll say that as we segue.
to the end.
No, I was saying we're still trying to figure out a few things on what's the best way to share this content, and then follow up with the office meeting, and then give you guys resources. Because here's the thing, the key word here is action. I know it's been some talking, but the idea is we want to take some action. And the most important thing, and the reason we started with this is, I know November and December aren't slow per se, but I want us to get ready, right? I want us to start getting ready in November and December, so when January hits, we're moving forward. And we say that every year, but really it's a great time because we're reflecting over the holiday seasons on a lot of things. It's a great opportunity to reflect on what we look like publicly. Jennifer, I'll let you bring us home, and you can be the taskmaster. I'll be the fun guy. You be the taskmaster. How's that?
So we want to make sure that you actually update your profile. So we've talked a little bit about what makes a good headshot. We've talked a little bit about what makes a good bio, and making sure you are consistent across all platforms. So before the meeting on Tuesday, make sure you Google yourself.
Mhm.
So Jake Durando, real estate.
And I would say real estate. Yeah. If your
Yeah.
name is particularly common, add real estate to it. If you need to, add the city. Yep.
Yes, to make sure you're getting your profile. So you can see every place that you do have one. You know, Jake, I'm really bad about creating accounts all over the place and then not remembering where I'm at.
Amen.
So Google yourself, see what you find. There will be an attachment on this meeting invite that is an online platform audit sheet. It looks like what's down in the bottom of the corner there.
I love that you created this, by the way. Like, what a great piece. And you know, to be able to go through, and I mean, here's the thing, like for yourself, and or maybe you have an accountability partner. You're like, hey, take a look at this and do me and I'll do you. And you can find those opportunities. So thanks for creating that, Jennifer.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's broken down into headshots on each of the different places you could be, looking at your bio, making sure it's appropriate for each site, your brand identity, that it is appropriate for each site. So it is really important to look at this. Every year we change. And like I said, I was looking at some of our agent profiles and they still say Prudential, or their picture is not updated. And so we want to make sure that we don't want to catfish anybody.
I know. We don't want to. And this is that opportunity, and I'll sort of make the plea here. Make a little movement. It doesn't have to be massive progress. Maybe not everything changes this week, but make a commitment to yourself that as you start to build your business, everything we do moving forward is now going to build on this idea that I am consistent everywhere, right? And I say this, outside of character and competence, which Brian Buffini talks about as the two most important things we can have, character and competence. If someone doesn't know me, I don't have a chance to demonstrate character or competence. The only thing I have is consistency. And to me, that's where this comes back. We want to be consistent in all of our profiles and all across all the platforms so that we have the opportunity to show our character and competence. These action steps, Jennifer, how can they get them?
So I'm going to link them in the meeting invite, so you can go back to your calendar, because I did invite everyone instead of just having it on the KCH learning calendar. A lot of people don't know how to access that or have not yet. So I wanted to make sure everybody had access to these meetings. So I will add that as soon as we're done. You can print that out or just download it and then see it. Make sure that when you go to your sales meeting on Tuesday, you take your phone or your laptop with you, because we're going to have you doing activities, looking at your bio and your headshots.
You mean they can't just go to the office meeting and sit there and have snacks and be passive? They got to do stuff?
Well, yeah, that's
I love
kind of
this
the
idea
here.
I love this idea. I know that we all plan on dividing and conquering for the first meeting, to sort of be there and share your feedback. Let us know what we can do, how we can do it better. The idea here is just simply a little bit of accountability to help you guys move forward. The next session we have will be a recording that Jennifer and I are going to do. We're going to talk about actual business planning numbers, the core of the true business planning. What do I need to make every year? How do we need to talk about that? So we'll make sure that that's on your scheduled to receive for the recording. And again, there'll be the office meeting component for that. Jennifer,
Excellent.
You're awesome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for doing all the work you do. Thank you for being here to join us. I look forward to unpacking some of this crazy stuff with you guys and seeing your bios and talking to you about the struggles that you have. So thanks for all you do, Jennifer.
Absolutely. See you soon. You too.